Welcome to the Sheila C Hill Show, where the C stands for come on in this room and have a sit down so we can chit chat for a little while. Listen, the Sheila C Hill Show is the ultimate go-to podcast for ambitious individuals who seek a more fulfilling and successful life. Now, we give great, valuable insights, expert tips, and inspiring stories to enhance your lifestyle, grow your business, and nurture your emotional well-being. Each episode brings practical tips and insightful wisdom within our supportive community, which I call Sheila's Thrive Tribe, because baby, we thrive over here. But if you're new to my show, I am your host, Sheila C Hill, and I like to say welcome, hello, hola, bonjour, como esta, ni hao, howdy, and what's going on, y'all? So glad that you're here today, but please don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share to become a part of Sheila's Thrive Tribe, which is a gathering of like-minded individuals who is dedicated to personal growth, business success, and living your best life. So I know that's you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now today, and I've always told you guys, right? I always say, I bring the best guest in the land. And today's guest is not going to disappoint at all. Our guest today is a God girl, okay? She's a wife, a mother, mentor. She is a best-selling author. What? Let's go. Yes, and she is known as Multiple Streams Queen. We got the queen in the house. I am so excited, but she's a retired ER travel nurse, real estate investor, and now she is a full-time entrepreneur. Yes. Now, not just that, she is so super dope, right? Because now this is what she does. She reaches back to show others the way through mentorship, through free content creation, and volunteering in her community. Now, she has made her mark in short-term rental industry and is now helping other burnt-out nurses and healthcare professionals create additional streams of income. Isn't that amazing? So right now, I'd like to welcome you to the stage, Miss Danielle Bryant. Woo!
Thank you for that.
Welcome to the show. Stream queen in the house. I love it. So listen, we have our thrivers, and our thrivers are listening and they're watching on multiple platforms. Tell us a little about yourself in your own words.
Okay, so you kind of described it. I am a God girl. I am a wife, a mother. I'm actually a grandmother too. And an entrepreneur. I got here just being obedient. Honestly, I was able to start my business, and I used to say I started it by accident, but God put me in a position where I was praying and asking God to lead me and show me a way, and God did just that. So the business I thought I was going to start, God was like, this is where I want you to be. This is where I want you to serve. And I've been able to do that for the past 2 years. I've been able to grow my short-term rental business, and now I've been able to help hundreds of other people also do the same thing. And so I'm just grateful and honored to be able to do that.
That is so awesome to even have that heart to give back, because so many people just do them and they're like, okay, y'all figure it out yourself. So you're giving back. Kudos to you and congratulations on 2 years of entrepreneurship, just full time. Let me get my little clapper. Listen, because being an entrepreneur is not for the weak at heart. You know, we make it look good, but baby, woo, it's tough out here in these entrepreneur streets. So we gonna talk about the real deal, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because baby, these people need to know it is some good with it, but you have to be consistent as well. All right, before we go into Italy further, now you have the name Multiple Streams Queen. Please tell me, how did you get to that name?
So actually, a friend of mine coined me the multiple streams queen. I'll say a few years ago when I was working as a nurse and I was doing my travel nursing, I decided, oh, I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to stay at this facility. I was fired. And in that moment, I went through my depression. And once I got through it, I told myself that I'm never going to put my financial eggs in one basket and have someone control um, my future and me and my family's future at the drop of a dime. So I started researching different ways that I can put my money to work. I did a lot of mindset thing, listening to podcasts, reading books, and just figuring out different ways that I can make my money work for me because money is a tool. So I started to invest in the stock market. I became a private money lender for real estate investors. I also started investing in different businesses. And so literally I was putting my money to work. And my girlfriend just one day, she's like, you're the multiple queen, multiple streams queen. Because I was like, I am not setting my money in one place. I'm not relying on my money to come from one place. I am going to, when I get my money, is going to go out and work for me and bring me back more money.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That is a gem within itself. Okay, so you the multiple string, and then I saw you made a post, made a trademark and everything. Let's go. We're gonna do it. Yes. Congratulations on your trademark. That is so awesome. Very inspiring. Okay, so I'll be watching you move on in these social media streets. So tell me, you went to Rome. You took a trip to Rome. Did you go? Tell
Yeah.
me about that experience.
So I went to Rome for a business retreat. And although it's for a business retreat, it was very relaxing. I got to take my spouse, and we had an amazing time. It was so insightful. We got to relax. Being an entrepreneur, like you said, it can be hard, and people don't understand. You go from working a job that's structured, and as soon as you come in where you can go and figure out what you're going to do for the day. With entrepreneurship, nobody is giving you a playbook or what you should be doing or how that looks. So it can be very stressful and can be very, very tiresome. But we went and we had a vacation. I was able to learn. I was able to just have a moment to think, have a moment to breathe, and to also just experience the culture over there. It was really, really nice and just a good getaway and a break that we really needed. So it was a mixture of both, but we
Okay.
loved it over there.
That is great. I love going outside the box. And a lot of times, like you said, we don't take that time to really focus on just us and our spouses because, listen, we're entrepreneurs and the spouses, they might as well be entrepreneurs because they deal with us. Unless they're us. I know my husband do, girl. Ooh, thank God for mine. So that's great. You enjoyed your trip. And kudos to you for out thinking not just outside of the box, but I see you even just going outside of your norm because I know you say, now I've heard you say this that you was a introvert and
Yes.
shy.
Yes.
Okay, please tell me how can an introvert be such a successful entrepreneur? Tell some people that listens and use that as an excuse. So you are the poster child for an introvert. So please share that.
Yes. Literally, I will say it's God. I would
Okay.
definitely say is God because I am an introvert. I am very shy. Even when I go out in public, I am not going to be the one that's starting the conversation. But I know and I understand that my business is not about me. My business is
Mm.
here. It was created to help other people and to serve other people. And in order for me to help and serve anybody, I got to open my mouth. It's been times where I'm like, Lord, I don't know, where it get hard, but I understand that I'm on a mission and, it's a divine mission and honestly has nothing to do with me. So as much as I want to be shy, as much as I don't want to talk, as much as I don't want to show up, it ain't about me. And it's just a matter of whether or not I'm going to be obedient and I'm going to show up and I'm going to serve God people.
Come on, sis. Pass the collection basket around because that is you preaching. That is the truth. But we focus so much on us, so
Yeah.
much. And like I was telling someone one day, I said, you know what? I don't. It's a song that says, "My life is not my own to heal
Mhm.
my." Oh my gosh! I'd be like, this is so true. Our life is not just for us; it's for other people, and for
Yeah.
God to use us through us. But we make it about ourselves. It's just me, me, me. And it's like, get over yourself. It's not about you.
Yes, it is not.
It's not about you. And life will be so much easier if you realize that and just submit to it and just let it flow.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to have as many bumps and scrapes and everything else. But, oh, honey, that could be a whole nother episode. Okay, well, let's just keep talking about you because I love your story. I love how you're able to take, as a retired ER nurse, and I know there were so many demands on you all, and to now help those who need help, who want to get out of that industry or get out of that mindset of living paycheck to paycheck or not knowing how they're going to build that wealth. And you actually took the steps and you did it, and kudos to you because that's major. I mean, that's no easy feat. You make it look good and people just think, oh, I could do that, but it's work.
It is.
And you make it look good, so congratulations. Okay, now you mentioned earlier about depression. And that's one thing that the Sheila C Hill Show, we focus a lot on mental health because I've had challenges with mental health as well through my journey of entrepreneurship or just life in general, as well. So how do you believe that mental health and wellness, it impacts the entrepreneur's success?
Um, it impacts your success a lot. I always say, and I can speak for myself, just being transparent. If you have stuff that you have not healed, um, financial wounds or money wounds, because it's something that you have to deal with. If you have issues with trust issues, problems with neglect or abandonment, it shows up in your business and your business can suffer, right? If you have trust issues, you're not going to trust
Mm,
people that you bring on to help you, that you can delegate to, that can help lighten your load and help your business flow more efficiently and flow smoother. You're not going to trust them to get the job done because you're going to be constantly micromanaging them. If you have issues around money, right? People told you that money was evil. You're going to have a problem. You may be able to get the money, but you'll have a problem keeping the money because you haven't healed that relationship with money. So as when it comes to entrepreneurship and mental health, it is a direct correlation. If mentally you ain't doing well or you ain't don't feel good or you haven't healed around certain things, it is going to show up in your business.
mm. Come on now, you speaking it. And you know what? That's why we hear so many times that people who win the lottery and they lose it within a year's time because their relationship with money is not healthy and it takes a process. So that is so key. So how do you have a healthy relationship? So that's a good question. How do you get to that point?
I would definitely say first recognizing that you ain't okay, that you're not
Come on.
perfect, and it's okay to be imperfect. Nobody is walking around perfect, but understanding that, hey, I got a problem, or I'm not dealing with this in the right way. When you are non-confrontational, or you don't like to deal with or have hard conversations, that's something that you need to look at because that can get in the way of decisions that you need to make or relationships you need to mend or even cut off, right?
Come on.
So definitely recognizing that we are all a work in progress, getting help because you can't do it on your own. I tell people all the time, I am very vocal about it. Me having a therapist is something that I put in my budget. I'm going to talk to my therapist twice a month.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
It's a non-negotiable for me because I know and I understand that I am a work in progress. I don't do everything perfect or the way that I want to do it. And things that little Danielle, that's why I say the little people in us haven't dealt with shows up in the adult Danielle. So I am constantly working through my wounds or working through unhealthy habits that I have formed because of that. That's the way I was raised, or that's just how I do, or that's just who I am. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy, right? And everybody else got to deal with that. So first, knowing that you ain't perfect and going to get professional help, right? Going to get professional help is going to help you get to that healed part of yourself, because it's a lot of stuff, that a lot of sometimes we don't want to deal with, but you have to deal with it to grow and to become a healthier version of you.
Most definitely. Great tips, great gems, Danielle. Thank you. Because a lot of times we have to be honest with ourselves to to even get to the next step, to even get to the point where we will allow ourselves to have a therapist. So there's like different steps we have to get to, and the mentality, and sometimes the when people think of mental health, they may have a negative conversation about it, or in your community you may have it. But it is so important for each individual person to focus on themselves and understand that I need to get some assistance, because we're not living your life to the fullest. And when you get to that point, you get some therapy, baby, nothing can stop you. You all the way up, right? All the way up. Yes. So that is wonderful. All right. So now, with being an entrepreneur and the challenges that comes with it, and you mentioned that you and your husband went to Rome. Now, what are some things that you may do on a regular basis that helps you to maintain a healthy work-life balance? What do you do for that?
Really prioritizing my relationships. So I understand, yes, I have this business that's helping my family, is paying the bills. But at the same time, because we can get busy, at the same time, I have to prioritize my relationship. So every Thursday, every week, me and him, we got a date. That's our day. It don't matter what's going on. We're going to stop, even if we're out of town, and we are going to go on a date. Also, for me, having a date with my kids. So having a day that is their day, where I take them wherever they want to go, or we're going to do some type of activity together, is to me is helpful. Because I feel like there's no balance. It's very, people ask that question, but I feel like it's really hard to have a balance, especially when you are in the beginning stages of building your business. You're going to be working a lot. But it's just prioritizing your relationships, like letting people know, like listening to your partner. If they telling you like, you don't spend no time with me, or I would appreciate if you do this, whatever their love language is, show up and do that, right? Listen to their needs and try to meet them, So for me, just prioritizing my relationships helps. When we go on dates, we very rarely talk about business. We are just chit-chatting about life. But just making sure that I show up as his person.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's some really great tips. I never thought about taking the time out for the children. That is so important. That let them know that you're special. Even though I'm doing what I do, they may be your why, but in the process, they may say, hey, but what about me? I need some time with mommy. That is so good. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to take a commercial break, but Miss Danny, when we get back, I want to hear like this, these multiple streams that you do, but especially the short-term rental market, how you are dominating the short-term and helping so many people get into it. So we're going to talk about that shortly after the break. I'm so excited. We will be right back shortly. Oh my goodness, she is dropping some. Are you feeling overwhelmed with projects to build your business? Search no more. Introducing Borrow My VA, a virtual assistant service, your one-stop solution to bid farewell to stress and manage multiple tasks with very little effort. We specialize in website building, funnel creation, automations, and email marketing, all under one roof. And here's the best part. We provide all these incredible services at budget-friendly rates. Discover a hassle-free way to handle your projects. No more worries about onboarding or finding that perfect virtual assistant. Our team is all set to tackle your tasks with efficiency. Now, once you delegate the task, consider it done. Say goodbye to overwhelm. Don't miss this fantastic opportunity to elevate your business. Join our list of satisfied customers and book a free consultation today at borrowmyva.com. That's borrowmyva.com. All right. Thank you to borrowmyva.com for sponsoring this episode. All right. Before the commercial break, we are talking to multiple streams queen, Miss Danielle, short Danny Bryant. And listen, she is dropping so many gems of just being an entrepreneur and having a sense of who you are, who your family are, and how it is so important to spend that quality time consistently with your family. Also, how to handle the mental side of entrepreneurship, being true to yourself, seeking a therapist, and finding strategies and things that you can do to make your entrepreneur journey so much more successful. Now we're going to bring her back to the stage, and she's going to give us the gems on this short-term rental. Everybody be calling it Airbnb, but Airbnb is just a platform. We're talking about short-term rental. Listen, she is the queen, and baby, give us the gems. Tell us how this works, and how is it that how do you mentor the people? Because we need to know how to get into it. Okay.
So essentially what the model that I follow is called rental arbitrage, where my business or my company rents the property at one price. And then once we get in there, furnish it, set it up, we're able to relist it on different booking platforms, Airbnb just being one of them, where essentially we make more money than what we actually rent it for. That's how you make your profit. But we do all of that with permission from landlords and complexes that we're at. We're not sneaking and doing anything, and we still get to show up and serve people just in a different way. And I help people in my mentorship. It's a 12-week mentorship program that my next cohort opens the end of September. Unfortunately, we're kind of in the middle of a cohort right now. I'm helping those ladies get up and established and get educated on the business, because this education can lead you down the wrong way. And so that's essentially, in a nutshell, what rental arbitrage is. Your company or your business renting the place at one price, a lower price. You go and set it up, you furnish it, and then you relist it at a higher price. And that's how you make your profit and your money. And you do not have to own any of these properties.
Woo! Now, yes, we don't have to own it. You just rental arbitrage it. Let's go. Let's get that money. Okay. Now, so for your mentorship, okay, you had mentioned that you do help, people in the healthcare professional or nurses that are burnt out to get into other forms of income. Now, do you help just your regular old Joe that just say, hey, I want to get into retail arbitrage? Do you do that, or is there a certain guideline that you choose?
Absolutely. I can help anybody.
Okay.
But being that I'm a retired nurse, that's what attracted to me a lot, is other healthcare professionals. But I have the ability to help anyone, men and women, in any profession, any background, to learn this business and to actually get started.
Okay. Now tell me about, maybe if you have a star student or situation, something that you can just, even if you don't say their name, what's something that you can say, this worked, my program works, and this is what I have to show?
Yeah. So one of my students, I won't say her name, but she came to us. She did her research before she came. And she was like, I just was not putting the pieces together. So she joined our mentorship program, and literally in the span of 6 months, and she's now on her third unit. And they're doing great, like booked up. And she is so happy that she took a chance. She invested in herself. She learned this business, and she is now making money.
That is awesome. Her third unit. And how much time?
6 months.
6 months? Oh, yes. Oh, she's killing it. That is awesome. And people don't understand, if if you have the blueprint, which you do, and you are successful, it's easier to hire a coach, a mentor, and follow that blueprint. Why are you
Yeah.
trying to do it on your own? And I tell people all the time, if the mentor went and they took a right, and then when they took a left, there was a pothole, they're going to keep you from going to that pothole because they've been down the road. Speak,
Absolutely. I have been
speak to
there. I
me.
have lost
Yes.
money. I have lost units. I have had to downsize in certain markets. I have been through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so, like you said, I can tell you, okay, don't go that way because it's a dead end. Go this way instead because I've been there. Right. When you have issues that come up, I can help you navigate that versus sometimes when you're going through something in the business that you've never been through, what do? We freeze up and we're like, oh my God, and we start freaking out. One of the things I've taken from nursing, being an ER nurse. The moment that I froze up, I put somebody's life at jeopardy. So it ain't no more freezing up. It ain't no more, oh my God, what do I do? I stay calm, right? I'm going to stay calm because I need to be able to think. I need to put on my critical thinking cap and figure this out. So I have the ability to bring that into my business with me. I'm not freaking out. I am going to figure this out, and everybody's going to be okay.
Yes. Most definitely. I love it. I love it because as an ER nurse, you serve, right? So that's
Mhm.
your job, but you're serving. So
Yeah.
then you left from that and now you're an entrepreneur, but you're still serving.
Yes.
And I just recently read something the other day and it was saying your path to wealth is serving. And a lot of people don't understand that the serving piece of it is that's where the money is.
Yes.
But you have to serve from your heart because so many
Yeah.
people are all about the money, and it's not always about the money. Serve
Yeah.
and the money will come.
Yeah.
And kudos to you for impacting so many people and teaching them how to do so. Now, how did you get into you was into investing and real estate, and does that tie together with short-term rental, or is that sort of out there sort of by itself?
It does tie into it. So I knew that I always wanted to be a real estate investor. But once you start learning about real estate, it's so many different paths that you can go down. And so just getting deeper into it, I was like, okay, if I want, and I knew that I wanted to build wealth, like long-term wealth. And if you get into real estate, you'll hear a lot of real estate investors say, oh, I'm okay if I can make $200 a door, right? Which meaning each door, once the rent and the expenses are paid, if I can bring in $200 a month from that door, I'm comfortable. And so as I was going through it, I was like, I'm ready to get out of this, off this nursing floor. $200 a door is not going to be fast or quick enough for me. And I know that wealth is not quick, right? But I knew that I needed something that was going to um, sustain the income that I was used to in nursing. And when I say that short-term rental or Airbnb was kind of brought to me by accident, I've started businesses. I've made really good money in them. But what I figured out is that I wasn't passionate about it. That's not something that I really wanted to do. I didn't feel like I was called to do that. So I was like, I got to go back to the drawing board and figure this out. And when I say God brought me and Airbnb together, when I learned about it and I didn't have to own the property, I was blown away. And it just took me down this path where I just engulfed myself in it and I learned as much as I could. And I can go from making $200 a door to $1,000 a door or $1,500 a door or more sometimes, depending on the
Yes.
market you're in. And I'm like, okay, this is going to get me from the bedside. But my ultimate goal was always to still buy and purchase and own my own property. But
Okay.
this was helping me to get my foot in the door, scale a little bit quicker, and give me the income and the revenue that I needed to buy my own property.
Gotcha. Okay, that's some wisdom. So, okay, so with that, let's back up when you're talking about you were on the floor working at the hospital, and then you were something, as far as with the arbitrage, the rental arbitrage, the Airbnb. But how was your mindset to even get to that point? While you was working, just your ordinary worker bee, Okay. You're working your hours, your shifts. What was your mindset to even just say that, hey, there's got to be something better than this? Because the mindset is so major. Let's talk about mindset.
Yeah, so I always knew that I wanted to start a business. I grew up and I watched my father never work for anybody. He was an entrepreneur for as long as I can remember. So I knew I wanted to start a business, but when I first got into nursing, I would talk myself out of it. You know, I would see
Mm,
different business owners and different businesses that I can start being a healthcare professional. And before I could even allow myself to dream, I would say, girl, you can't do that. You can't start that business. Where you going to get the money from? How you going to do it? And so I would talk myself out of it. But what I kept running into is that I felt unsatisfied or uneasy in my job. I was like, I'm supposed to be doing more, but I didn't know what it was. And that's a feeling I can't really describe for other people. But I just remember praying and asking God, like, I know I'm supposed to be doing more. Like, God, show me what I'm supposed to be doing. How am I supposed to be showing up? How am I supposed to be serving your people? Because I know it's more than nursing, although I love nursing. I love my job. I love taking care of my patients. I just knew that it was something else that I was supposed to be doing. And so again, I've tried different things and I was like, okay, this is okay, but this ain't it. But
mhm,
when I got into this business, I knew that this was it. But it goes back to something that you said, surrendering. Like, just like, okay, God, I don't know what this looks like for me. I don't know anything about this business, but I'm going to let you lead the way. I am going by faith. You told me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm going to trust you. I
mhm.
don't know how we're going to get there, but I'm going to trust your word, and I am just going to surrender. Like, okay, this is what we're doing, and I let God lead, and I just listen. I was obedient because I could have took what God told me and been like, okay, I'm supposed to do it. And I just sat on it and not did anything with it. But
Mhm.
as I took action, I had my faith and I believe, like, okay, I believe God's promise to me. So I'm going to just start taking the steps, start taking the action. And God showed up and showed out. And 2 years later, I'm still here.
Woo! Let me get my clapper. I love it, Daddy. I love it, love it, love it. Oh my goodness, you've said so much, and I appreciate it. It's so many times we're in our own way. We're in our own way. Our mindset, we're overthinkers. We're just questioning God. And listen, one time I heard someone talk about um oh, they need confirmation. It was God. God wants me going. What are you talking about? If He said go, go. Why you keep saying I need confirmation? Oh, and then I need confirmation from that confirmation. No, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be ugly. Just do it. I say a
Just,
lot of times, listen, I have duct tape on the back of my stuff, but I be doing it.
just do it. God just needs your obedience. That is it.
Yeah.
Just do it. And like you said, we talk ourselves out of it. We talk
Mm-hmm.
ourselves out of it when God has already given it to us. We've been asking for it. We've been praying for it. And God is like, here.
Come on. Come on
Here.
here. Like, oh, it was that easy? That's it? What? I've been wasting this time. So for those that are listening, stop wasting time. Stop it. Just stop it. Get out of your way. My goodness. And then be consistent in what you know what you're supposed to do. Because Danny, what you were saying was you just felt like no, it's something else. And a lot of times we silence that. And we're
Yeah.
just like, that's too big, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, that dream is too big. There's no way because of who I am, my background, my family, and my financial status, and all these other excuses. But if you have that dream inside of you, no, that's there for a reason. Then you have to be in a quiet place to
Yeah.
understand what is your next step. You got to be quiet. And then when you're by yourself, don't be complaining. I'm by myself. Woe is me. I ain't got no friends and nobody called me over. Danny didn't invite me to Rome on her trip. Then we're having a pity party, but that's exactly where you need to be, in that lonely place, in that
Yeah.
alone place, so you understand who you are. And then that's when you're going to realize, oh, I need some therapy, because being by myself, I don't even like what I see.
I am telling you, we need the collection plate for you because what you just
Okay.
said, my business was birthed out of isolation. Because
Mm.
as much praying as I was doing,
Yeah.
I was so distracted and my brain was so cluttered with all my day-to-day life. God
Mhm.
had to uproot me up out of it where it forced me to talk to nobody but God. Like,
Mm.
okay, it's me and you. And it forced me
Yes.
to really look at myself and analyze those things and analyze my relationships and wounds. And it forced me to listen to God because as much as we be praying, we don't quiet our minds to listen. You ain't gonna hear God because you got everything else going on and you got everybody else around you telling you what you should do. When God is like, I'm trying to get your attention, like tapping you on the shoulder, and you're like, well, God, why are you not speaking to me? You haven't
Exactly.
given God the opportunity to say what needs to be said. You need that quiet time.
Exactly. And when you pray, and a lot of people don't understand, it's a two-way communication. Not just God, give me this, da da this. Be quiet. Let him talk back to you. You're
Yes.
missing it, sis. You're missing it, brother. Calm down, calm your spirit, and allow him to direct you. Listen, I had a whole business, my CBD dispensary. It was birthed, and every day, it was something that God was telling me to do. My whole direction, and I've been in it for what? Now it's 4 years. I have a brick and mortar, and we're still there, and we made it through the pandemic.
Wow,
Yay!
congratulations.
Thank you. But and that's why we have to understand our visions and what we have in us is not too big. It's not too big. It is time to really nurture that and go for it and research and hire a coach if need
Yeah.
be. Do what you have to do to get to that next step. Now, for entrepreneurs, Danny, that they are just facing so many challenges, especially now with the economy. And a lot of times entrepreneurs, they just doubt themselves.
Mhm.
What would you advise them? What would you tell them?
Um, to hold on to your faith. If you know, I'm a God girl, so that's what I can tell you. I always tell people to pray with any decision that you're going to make. Borrow God's strength. When you feel weak or
Mm.
you feel unsure, kneel down in prayer and borrow God's strength. If God told you to do it, God is going to equip you with everything that you need, with everybody that you need, with all the opportunities that you need to make it happen. So along
Mhm.
your way, or if you're just starting, you're like, well, I still don't know, and I'm still unsure. That's a human side of you that don't know, and it is unsure. It's a supernatural faith in you that has already told you that it's yours. That I got you, that this is what you're supposed to be doing in the path that you're supposed to be on. So if you feel like I don't know or I'm unsure, I don't have the strength, borrow God's strength.
Woo! I love that. I might make a t-shirt, girl. Borrow God's strength with your name down on it. Oh, I love that. I will be making a post for real, for real. Because listen, because sometimes just no matter how much faith you have, sometimes we're human and we just sort of we need that breather. So
Yeah.
while we're taking that breather, borrow God's strength. He done said it. Woo! I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, okay. So tell me, with your mentorship, I know right now you're going to start back in September. What is there something else that maybe someone want to before they get into the mentorship? Do you have an ebook or something that sort of tells
Yeah.
something that they can do? Please tell us about anything that you have to offer. Because
Absolutely. So I have an ebook. I offer discovery calls, but if you're in a position where you're like, "Hey, I ain't got it right now," go right to my YouTube channel, and I break down the steps in different ways on how to get started. And I've been doing that for over a year now. So that is available, or you can get a discovery call. And I do offer services like business in a box, right? For my busy entrepreneurs, my busy people that are like, I want to get started, I want the education, but I'm like ready right now. I've had a lawyer friend reach out to me and she was like, girl, I ain't got time for 12 weeks, but I want to learn, but I'm a quick learner. And so we spent a few days together and I helped them get started and they get a unit that weekend and, they launched their business.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That's what's called the business in a box.
Yeah.
What? What? Okay, guys, you all better jump on that because listen, I have Airbnb, and yes, it's a lot of work behind the scenes to get to even
Yeah.
get one that's qualified.
Yeah.
Number one, that's a lot of time. And then number two, to have it set up to know what you need to do. Listen,
Yeah.
listen, y'all don't know how much that was real gems, like for real. Go to her YouTube. Okay, tell us what your YouTube is.
The official multiple streams queen.
Oh, she got to have official in front of her stuff. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I need to put official in front of mine.
Go ahead.
The official Sheila C Hill Show.
We official in here, okay?
I love it. Okay. So y'all go to YouTube. It is free information she's giving out. But you definitely want to reach out to her to get into her mentorship, get on the waiting list because that's how dope she is. And then number two, that business in a box. If you ain't got time to be doing all this, but you want to learn the industry, listen, that right there, I wish I would have jumped on a business in a box. Oh my, because it took me a few months just to get going, get a yes, you know what I'm saying? So and then you have the connections of the locations throughout the United States. Now, have you branched out internationally yet as far as with your properties?
Not one that's running. So we have branched out nationally to purchase, but they take 2 years to build, depending on the developments that you go to. So we branched out into DR, and then I'm actually going to Ghana to tour some potentials, but they are in the process of building. Mm-hmm.
That's why you got official in front of your name. You official going to other countries? I ain't mad at you, sis. Wow, I love it. I love it. Okay. So finish telling me your social media. I really appreciate you coming today, and I enjoy our talk.
Thank you for having me. So I'm literally on all social media platforms as Multiple Streams Queen. On Facebook, my personal page is Danielle Bryant. So yeah, follow me. I'll follow back, engage, ask your questions, and I'm here to help.
Awesome. Okay. And then your mentorship starts in September.
Yes.
And how do they get to that?
So there's a link in my bio, like you can't miss it, that basically you can go to my website, you can book a discovery call, and we can get you on the wait list, because I like for my cohorts to be kind of small and intimate, so I can really make sure nobody gets left behind.
I love that. And what's your website?
multiplestreamsqueen.com.
Of course. I love it. Which all of that information will be in the show notes, in the description. So you all, if you didn't catch that, we have it here. Before you go, Danny, please give us any advice that you want to give us as your last words, or words of encouragement, or whatever you're feeling your spirit, sis. Just drop it for your people.
Yes. Move on faith. And also know and understand, because my brown and black sisters, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to get help. It is okay to prioritize your mental health, because as I said, if you don't fix the other stuff that's going on inside of you, it will show up in your business eventually. Because we're seeing it now. It's millionaires, multimillionaires that are falling because they ain't dealt with some unhealed trauma in their life. It will rear its ugly head eventually.
Come on, say that, sis. Y'all better recognize, you better know this ain't nothing to play with. This is real, the real deal. This is real life. Thank you very much, Danielle. I really appreciate it. I told y'all we have some really dope people, guests that come on this show, and I told you she was not going to disappoint y'all. So in the meantime, you guys, listen, understand, and even if you need to rewind this back on days that you need that strength and you need someone to tell you to borrow God's strength, just rewind this show back and just understand that it is so important to follow God, and it's going to be so much better. I mean, like, for real. In the meantime, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the Sheila C Hill Show. We would love to have you as one of the thrivers. We are here just to give you what you need and give you actionable steps as well. If no one has told you today that you are loved, I am telling you that you are loved and highly appreciated, and don't let anyone dim your light. So let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Until next time on the Sheila C Hill Show. Y'all take care. Have a good